Thank you, Mr. President. Almost on the same topic on Africa. In all your few meetings recently, one thing has come up and that hasn't been really picked up by the press is, or at its right value, the fact that we have mercenaries in Congo. That's a thing, and yet AU is clear on that. But now, as Rwanda, the country with the size that we know, everybody knows the limited means that a country like that has. How do you go into Central Africa Republic, give a hand there, and you go to Mozambique? Maybe if you can share that part. What is the interest? What is and yeah.
Sure. I actually could have been in Congo doing this or similar things if the Congolese had wanted.
What you're doing in South Africa?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because even more interest in that because it affects me directly. But we even tried. But the Congolese didn't want. So this is what, again, makes some of the statements or assertions by some people hard to understand. It's as if they see Rwanda as a source of or being a problem to the Congo. Far from that. We have sought to work with the Congo for a long time so that we eliminate these problems. They just refused. So, what can we do? Now, but for Mozambique and the Central African Republic, by African standards, Rwanda has built a decent capacity and understanding to solve with others some of these challenges we face. We face them as a country, Rwanda, but other countries face similar problems on our continent. And then, in the end, there is a link between one problem in one part of Africa with another problem in another part of Africa. So given these capacities we have built while we are dealing with our own internal problems, that's how actually we came to that. We came to that on issues of security, peace, and military, police, and what. We faced so much of these challenges that inevitably we had to invest in building these capacities. Decent. I don't want anybody to exaggerate. We don't have too much of anything, including this capacity. We just have decent capacities to address our problems, but working with others to just increase capacity for them to address their problems. That's how we happen to be in Mozambique. That's how we happen to be in the Central African Republic. In Central African Republic, we are there in two forms, actually. One is under the UN, because we were part of the UN mission, a peacekeeping mission in Central African Republic. The other is bilateral. For the UN peacekeeping, when you have sent troops under the UN mission, we have no control over those troops. They do what the UN tells them to do. For that moment, in terms of rules of engagement or all kinds of stuff, Rwanda is disconnected. While under the bilateral arrangement, with the bilateral partner, we decide what to do, and that's what we do. So we have those. There are things that could not be done under the UN mission in Central African Republic, and the Central African Republic government or leader asked us to help and work together under this bilateral arrangement, and that's what we did. And I think we produced some results to an extent of what because if you remember, there was a time, actually, Bangui, the capital itself, and different other places were threatened by rebel armed groups. So I think they were trying to work with the UN to deal with that. In fact, at some point, and they were going for elections, and at that point is when Bangui itself was threatened, almost being taken over by rebels. So I think in Central African Republic, realizing that the government, realizing that they weren't being effective with the mission there under the UN, that's how they asked our support. And we couldn't tell our troops under the UN to switch to that task because that's they are under the UN, not under our command. So we sent their troops whom we could command as by the agreement between us and the Central African Republic. That's yes, it is. I'll come to that. Then we went to Mozambique. In Mozambique, we were still asked by the government. After they had also tried many ways and asked people to help, and some people had helped, and it wasn't, and in fact, the rebels who had taken over Cabo Delgado province, by the way, that province alone, just as a province, is 3 times the size of Rwanda. So the terrorists had taken over that place and were threatening, spreading beyond. So sometimes even if you were to get help, if you use these systems, AU, UN, whichever, if you need help now, and it's urgent, it may come minimum after 2 years. So you can imagine somebody who is in intensive care, needing intervention of a doctor, they say, hey, you wait. You come, wait, the doctor is on a holiday somewhere, so when he comes, so you can imagine. That's what was happening. So that's how they act. And then, for example, also for us, once they have come to us like that, to say, you know what, you first go to the AU or the UN and first secure agreement that they will fund our mission. You understand that? So that means it's like as good as saying, I'm not coming. So here you are faced with a choice. Or you tell you know what, put the money here first before we go. I mean, it's like we would be operating like a mercenary ourselves. Just say, put cash here first, and then we come and help you. And the cash is not readily available with some of I mean, it's like Rwanda. If you wanted to do with us something and we say, no, put money there first. Even if you asked us, we don't have that money to put there first. So what we did was to say, okay, we can go into these details later on. Let's help. Once the house is on fire, it's on fire. You just need to intervene to help put it out to the fire. You don't have time to say, wait. So we say, we will go there, and then with time maybe, some people realize that it costs us so much, or it costs so much, and to be realistic, somebody needs to cover the cost. So this is the way we approached it. As you might have seen already with the European Union, they are actually in the process, final process. We are in the final stage where they are helping, but they are helping Mozambique. So in other words, when they give resources for that operation, they are really helping Mozambique, not Rwanda. In fact, that's where this world is very strange. We have said all the wrongs and rights of what is happening. You know, some people even in that tried to bring issues in the European Union, saying no, but we shouldn't give them money when they are causing trouble in Congo. Then we say, oh, but how is the connection? You think you are punishing us, but in the end you are punishing Mozambique. Mozambique has had, at least for us, you are accusing us of doing whatever in Congo that we should be held responsible for. But by doing that, you are punishing Mozambique. What wrong has Mozambique done in Congo? Just by the mere fact that we are associated, they think they can penalize us for our bad behavior in Congo, but you are just sacrificing these Mozambicans who have nothing, absolutely nothing. And this is what we were telling them. We say, look, if you are giving up on Mozambique and you don't want to help. So, but for us then, the question, we have, by the way, indeed used entirely your resources, our resources. Everything has come so far from the treasury. Our treasury, from our limited, very limited stuff. It is painful, it is costly. It means there are certain things we could have done for ourselves that we are not able to do because we consumed these resources for these missions. But looking deeply into it, it is not a waste of money. It's not a waste of resources. One way or the other, we were going to spend these resources, or they will actually be recovered at some point. Let me give you an example. You are aware there are people who are arrested here who are in prison being put to the courts of law. We actually arrested terrorists here. I think there were 5 or 6, I don't remember. Connected with ADF that is in Eastern Congo and these terrorist groups in Cabo Delgado. And they were here. So we have them, they're in prison. Those responsible interrogated them, they revealed everything, and it was just, in fact, the whole idea, even up to now, is for those groups, I don't remember their names, in Mozambique, in Cabo Delgado, to link up with the ADF and continue and link up with through Central African Republic to Sahel region. This is the whole thing. So that we got involved well in advance for this, for something that was going to affect us anyway, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's actually worth our money. So there are many aspects to it, and those are some of them.